Hello everyone, please press subscribe, press follow, press the bell so you don't miss any new clips. Adorable treasured fox divine doctor mother overturning the heavens. Author by Co. Chi Yi. Audio novels by Novelist. Chapter 201, he is a fifth-rank alchemist. The more he talked, the more the tears came rolling out of the elder. How many years has it been? For the young master's illness, the medicine sect had exhausted everything to only come out with nothing. But now, this girl was able to cure it with minimal effort. No matter what, she will forever be the benefactor of the whole medicine sect. Just that, can I ask what sort of method did your kitty use? A faint glow emulated out of the elder. We've tried many things over the years, but all had failed at what you did with ease. This. Bai Yan's expression became a little awkward. That's difficult to say. Startled, the answer was honestly outside of the elder's expectation because the girl only had to say no instead of saying it in such a roundabout way. Young master, since Bai Yan wouldn't tell him, he can only turn around for the patient instead. Like Bai Yan, the sick man also showed a somewhat awkward expression. I don't know either. When I got into the room, the next thing I knew was that I fainted away. By the time I awoke, the wisp of energy inside my body was gone. Now the situation only got more awkward. Showing an embarrassed glow on her cheeks, Bai Yan only didn't want to explain the procedure because she knew the man would refuse if she did. That's why she gave the wink to Little Rice when they left. It's to tell the tiger cub what to do. That's so. The elder appeared disappointed. Because of this reason, he seems to have misjudged Bai Yan as not wanting to reveal the secret instead of just being embarrassed. No matter though, what's important to him was his young master's health, so everything else can step aside. I have here a written prescription. Rummaging through her pocket, Bai Yan finally found the paper she had prepared earlier. Buy the items on the list for me. It's to help your young master's health. His physical body hasn't recovered yet, so he needs some pills to aid him. Quote. Shocked by those words, the elder immediately spread open the folded paper to be completely surprised by the content. Frowning, he was perplexed by the recipe. There are numerous alchemists in the medicine sect, plus he too was a fifth-grade alchemist, but never had he seen such a combination of ingredients. Miss Bai Yan, what kind of medicine are you trying to concoct? A fifth-grade vitality rejuvenation pill. Vitality rejuvenation pill was the byproduct of her research in improving the biorestoration Dan pill used by old Lord Lan back when the grandpa was ill. The reason why the other pill wouldn't be effective here was due to Bai Zhanpeng's body. It's much more severe. Fifth-grade medicine. Compared to this never before heard of Dan pill, the elder was more surprised by the girl instead. Though he himself may be a fifth-rank alchemist, but that's due to many years of effort and study. While on Bai Yan's side, she was no more than 20, an age not even half of the elder's. A 20-something fifth-rank alchemist. Is she trying to give me a heart attack? Bai Yan made a face like she won't be refused. His body is too weak. Unless I use something of that level, he won't be able to recover. Therefore, you must prepare over 10 portions. With that much material, I should be able to create 100 pills for him, more than enough until his body is fully recovered. Shuddering in his hands, the elder almost couldn't catch his breath. Miss Bai Yan, you say you can create 10 pills in one pot? Bai Yan frowned, perplexed by the question. At least 10 per pot. But just in case, I asked for a bigger portion as insurance. What? At least 10? Then what if there's extra? The elder almost couldn't keep his head together now due to the astonishing shock from the girl's statement. In his desperation, he had to keep reminding himself it must be a lie, an exaggeration. In truth, due to Bai Yan's closed-off living style at the Holy Island over the years, her interaction with other alchemists in this world were limited. Even if she did meet a few out on her travels after leaving the Bai house, the numbers wouldn't be very high, hence the reason why she's unaware of how high her own alchemy was. There shouldn't be that many as bad as her own 3 shifers, right? Chapter 202, Take Me for a Dead Man. Therefore, something like making 10 pills in one pot was a far too common thing in her view. The old elder really wanted to cry. If the circumstances are good, he will at most yield 4 pills in one pot. If not, then 2 or even less wouldn't be out of the question. Ugh, so infuriating. If nothing else, you can go prepare the materials. Once ready, come back and find me. Making a stretch with her arms, Yan was ready to rest in her room since there's nothing else for her to do today. Then all of a sudden, her attention was caught by a loud commotion from the next door. This translation is only hosted BCAT translation. It sounds like Wang Xiaopeng's voice, Xiakeng's friend. Giving it a thought, she decides to take a look in the inn to make sure everything's all right. Elder Gu, looking at the direction of that departing figure, Bai Zhanpeng's mouth soon curled into a faint smile. This world really is full of surprises. I estimate that even if we compare all of the geniuses in the medicine sect, none would be a match for the lass. The one known as Elder Gu was very ashamed of himself, both for his suspicious heart and his blindness of not seeing how amazing Bai Yan was. To think the outside would have such a crazy genius now. I've been closed off for far too long. Young master, when I was investigating Miss Bai Yan's background, I heard the Bai family had wanted to sell her to an old grandpa as a concubine over a third-grade Dan pill. I wonder if they will regret it if they learn of her true ability. While Bai Zhanpeng was busy stroking the paper in his hand like it's a valuable treasure, his hand suddenly stopped at his follower's comment. From gentle to a frosty cold, even the air around his body felt awfully chilly. The Bai family. Continue investigating that family. I want to know everything about them and what happened to Miss Bai Yan while she was there. Yes, young master. Ellipsis. Over at the Wang family's home, Wang Diqiu, father, was in the middle of reading a book when a loud screaming cry alerted him to the commotion outside. In his haste, he made a dash for the front yard after charging out of his study room. That's when the man saw his son Wang Xiaopeng being bound up like a pig by a group of soldiers. Standing at the forefront of these intruders would naturally be the arrogant Nangong Lin, royal grandson. After the fight from earlier, he's been eager to get revenge, hence the reason why he came alone with these men. As for Wang Xiaotong, younger sister, the girl was already scared out of her wits. In her panic, she cries out while attempting to break her elder brother free from those bad people. Scram! Not to be rejected, the big fat bully wickedly pushed the poor girl aside and issued out a devious chuckle. If you come over again, watch and see if I won't turn you into my bedding maid. Maybe it's fate or by coincidence, Wang Diqiu, father, just so happens to hear exactly this phrase when he came running. How dare someone say they will use my daughter as a bedding maid? Just because we left the main family doesn't mean I, Wang Diqiu, can be so easily bullied. Father, noticing his old man's figure coming over in the distance, Wang Xiaopeng's screaming voice only grew louder like a squealing pig begging for mercy. Help me, help me. You little bastard, let go of my son this instant. Flushed red in his eyes, the raging father didn't need any encouragement to raise his hands. Grabbing a random rod nearby, he began waving it around in his assault at the soldiers, forcing the poor men jumping back left and right due to the extreme pain. Father. After being dropped to the floor, Wang Xiaopeng wasted no time to crawl behind his old man's leg to use as his shield. This group of people is too much. Not only are they picking on me despite being way older, they also outnumber me. Help me teach him a lesson. Humph. Get your ass over there and stay quiet. Tossing the chubby kid into the nearby bush like a toy, Wang Diqiu didn't even cast a glance at his son's well-being. How dare you people hit my son? If anyone is to beat him, then it has to be me. Just watch. I will show you people what it means to cross me today. Chapter 203, A Business Deal. The fat bully was too stunned for words. Unable to do a thing, he can only watch the guards he brought along be knocked over to the ground one after the other. Noticing the gaze directed at himself from Wang Diqiu, father, the fat bully quickly lost all form of arrogance and began to stutter. My father is the crown prince. I don't care if your father is the prince or the king. If he can't teach you properly, then I will do their job for them. In one sweep of his feet, the enraged man makes a stomp right onto the boy's chest. These people really take me for a pushover. How dare they come into my home and hit my son? I will show 'em what it means to mess with me. Bursting out into tears, the fat bully starts sobbing with all his might. My father said I'm the most prestigious person in this world because the animals bowed before me when I was born. You hit me. My father will definitely feed you to the dogs for that. Smearing at the threat, Wang Diqiu's only reaction was a couple of slaps after dragging the kid up into the air. Try crying again and I will toss you into the forest to feed the animals there. Shivering at the threat, the fat bully instantly ceased his sobbing. With a frightened face, Mangonglin felt like he was facing a monster. What is master of the animals? You think I be dumb enough to be fooled? Go tame a demon beast for me to see then. Come on. Go. These people are truly too ignorant. Merely one rumor and they are all heads over heels for it. Now scram. Get out of my face. First tossing the fat bully out of his estate, Wang Diqiu then casts a warning glare at the sprawling soldiers pretending to be dead. In the face of that intense stare, these poor men could only scramble for the door with their lord in hand. At the very same time, Bai Yan was currently giving off a half-hearted smile as she watched the whole thing unfold with her body leaning against the doorway. Since her help was no longer needed here, she figured it's time she went home. Miss. Suddenly, an addressing voice came from behind, causing her to stop in her footsteps. Is something the matter? Bai Yan asked. Miss, you are Bai Xiakan's mother, right? Despite his effort to show off a welcoming smile, it only came out as deceitful and conniving, like someone facing a piece of fat pork ready to be consumed. Unconsciously, Bai Yan found herself taking a step back like a frightened doll. You know me. Ha ha, Xiakan said it long ago that his mother is the most beautiful woman in the world. Since I saw you coming out from the next door, I took a guess and figured you must be her. Making a hearty laugh, Wang Diqiu swiftly snatched his son over without minding the chubby kid's own feeling. Come on, hurry and say hello. Like his father, Wang Xiaopeng's welcoming laugh somehow turned into a perverted chuckle. Beautiful auntie, I am very pleased to meet you. Following her brother's lead, Wang Xiaotong also chimed in to greet Bai Yan. Hello beautiful auntie. She is Bai Xiakan's mother. She really looks beautiful, the most beautiful person I've seen yet. I only came out to check on the commotion, nothing more. Since all of you are fine, I will be going back first. Her eyes were clearly softer at the sight of the children. If you two have time, please come to my home and find my son. He really likes playing with you too. The chubby boy was glowing in his eyes. All this while, it had always been Bai Xiakan coming over to their home and not the other way around. Remember not to make trouble for your auntie there if you visit, understand? Making a knock on his son's head, Wang Diqiu didn't forget to warn his son like a proper father would. Chapter 204, A Business Deal 2. With that said, he then turns back to Bai Yan with an open grin. Can I ask for your name? It's Bai Yan. Miss. Your surname is Bai. Then Xiakan follows your name. Wang Diqiu was a bit surprised there. Under normal circumstances, Bai Xiakan should be following the father's name, not the mother's. Seeing Wang Diqiu's astonished reaction, Bai Yan raises a smirk and said, Is there something else? It's like this. Earlier I had learned from your son that you were in possession of some Dan pills. Can you sell them to me? I will pay however much you like. Wang Diqiu's eyes were glowing like a wolf staring at its prey, hungry and craving for meat. Pondering in silence for a moment, Bai Yan in the end responded, What grade are you looking for? 3rd grade or higher is enough. All right, I can provide you with anything below 5th grade. As to the price, I will have my people come negotiate with you. Wang Diqiu's heart had literally tensed up due to quick confirmation. At most he only expected Bai Yan to provide him with some 3rd or 4th grade Dan pills, not some high-level stuff like some 5th grade. This is no different from a great surprise. Pricing is not an issue. May I know when you can provide me with the products and how much? The 3rd and 4th grade pills will be 100 each per month. As for the 5th grade ones, I will need you to provide the ingredients instead. As to the number, it will depend entirely on luck as to how much I can make. Wang Deqiu's eyes grew even brighter. She can make? Then doesn't that mean this Miss Baiyan is a 5th-rank alchemist? Okay, I'll leave all of that to your expertise. As for the payment, I'll be sure to make it fair for you. It's not his money that's being spent anyways, it's the main branch who's paying, meaning he can accept it no matter how high it goes. Not saying anything more, Baiyan turns for her home. In a blink, her figure was gone from the Wang family's view. Father, you were plotting something, aren't you? A greedy person like you would never be so easy to negotiate with. Wang Xiaopeng looked puzzled at his old man. What's nonsense are you saying? Huffing with displeasure at his son's accusation, remember those pills Xiaocan gave you? I sent one of them to your grandfather. After its appraisal, the alchemists back at home said the effects are far superior to any other out there. That's why I never sold a single one of the pills that I confiscated. I offered them all to your grandfather and was given explicit permission to purchase as many as I can. Showing a cheeky smile, Wang Deqiu was very confident about this deal. If he succeeds, it's likely he and his family will be able to return to the clan through these damn pills. So that's why, it's not your money. No wonder you are so quick to say yes. The chubby knocks a sneer, holding his father in contempt. There's no illusion in Wang Xiaopeng's mind that his father was a profiteer of the highest level. No matter how small the deal, even a small purchase at the market, his old man would squeeze the opponent dry for all they had before he's satisfied. How can you say that about your old man? Since you won't be inheriting the main household anyways, why not take advantage of this fact and benefit ourselves and our friends in the process? Shooting his inconsiderate son a glare, the greedy man really wanted to give the kid another smack. This was his main purpose, to take a big cut out of the main family. He only left the main clan because he was forced to, not because he wanted to. As for why he had to, his older brother and nephew definitely had a hand in pushing for the outcome when they were down. Scratching his head, the chubby was still uncertain over his old man's plan, but will Grandpa agree? Ho ho, showing a devious smile, Wang Deqiu sounded very confident. I have already informed your grandfather ahead of time. I said the reason why these damn pills are so good is because the alchemist in question had overspent their time in concocting this batch. Therefore, it's limited and can't meet demand. Chapter 205, Youngster Wenru 1. When the time comes, he too will have the capital to make demands. Brat, you have to study these business tricks well. Even if you can't inherit the main family's fortune, you must at least be able to fend for yourself and not be butchered to death. Wang Deqiu really wanted to smack his son again for being so lazy. If this kid could be even half as good as Xiaocan, then I won't have to worry so much. I got it, the chubby gives a perfunctory nod. Next second, Wang Xiaopeng had already dashed away for the door because he knew what his old man was planning to do next. Furthermore, this naughty kid didn't forget to stick his tongue out as his own form of retaliation. Grimacing at the brat's demeanor, Wang Deqiu starts giving his son the chase. You stinking brat, watch how I will beat your butt silly this time. Ellipsis. Back over at the old manor, Baiyan was busy sipping away at her tea while waiting for her subordinate to arrive. Mistress, is there something you need by calling for me? Hualuo, head of the flower brothel, makes a partial kneel after entering the main reception hall. I made a business deal with the Wang family from next door. Have Lady Chu go negotiate the terms with them. Yes, mistress, the enchanting woman respectfully complied. Oh yes, I wanted to ask you for a while now, how are the training for those alchemists going? Lowering her teacup, Baiyan softly asked. In this world, strength was most certainly important, but that's not all there was to it. Alchemists are also important in a different way. The powerful undoubtedly can take whatever they want with their sheer strength, but alchemists have their own means to get what they want. Even without a high level of cultivation, they can turn to other powerful individuals to ask for help if needed. That's why, starting from 3 years ago, Baiyan had secretly gathered a group of alchemists for her own use. Just that due to her own busy lifestyle, she never once checked on their progress. Mistress, the alchemists we brought in have all made great improvements, with every single one of them reaching at least second rank. For those more talented, we now got 30 at the 3rd level and 9 at the 4th level. Then what about the 5th level? She asked with a frown. This. Except for Wenru, no one else was able to achieve such results. Wenru was a person Bai Yan met along her journey 3 years ago. At the time the youngster was still arrogant and rude. Therefore, the two quickly got into a conflict after they became interested in the same treasure. If martialists like to settle their scores by having a fighting match, it's only proper the alchemist profession would compete with their skills in alchemy. And that's precisely what the two did. After losing, Wenru had since sworn allegiance to Bai Yan. No one being able to break into the 5th level is within my expectations, but the number of 4th ranks are too low. How can there be only 9 people when we conscripted over 200 talented genius back then? Bai Yan's expression clearly didn't look so good as she slowly got up from her chair. Nervous in her tone, Huoluo knew her next words will only make the woman even unhappier. Nevertheless, she says it anyway out of loyalty. Of the 9 people, 5 of them were already at the 3rd level. In other words, 3 years of effort yielded nothing more than a 1-level increase. Huoluo, bring me to see those alchemists. I want to check for myself why this is happening. This certainly cannot go on. I must think of some way to help these people advance further as soon as possible. Ellipsis. Inside the courtyard that's almost perennially covered in a smoky mist due to the constant use of the stoves, a large group of hard-working men were busy concocting their respective Dan pills with their cauldrons. Ah! A loud screaming cry suddenly broke the tranquility here. The reasoning for this was Bai Yan's unmerciful kick at the figure who attempted to charge her at the first moment she stepped through the doorway. Sprawled there with his arms and legs on the ground, the handsome boy known as Wenru puts on a pathetic look of grievance at his attacker. How come I can't see through your cultivation anymore? Don't tell me, you made another breakthrough again. Aside from the alchemic contest they did 3 years ago, they also competed in their cultivation. The end result, a very miserable defeat that left him admitting defeat both physically and spiritually. Even so, he could still perceive the girl's cultivation. But now, he couldn't, like the woman was shrouded in a thick layer of mist. Chapter 206, Youngster Wenru 2. I've heard that under your leadership only 9 of the alchemists I brought you is at the 4th rank. Raising the corner of her mouth, Bai Yan provocatively smirks at the boy. Somersaulting himself up like a carp, Wenru makes a grieving look. 3 years ago you just dumped these people onto me and then went missing. Shouldn't you at least say something to me first now that you've returned? Bai Yan started laughing maniacally. For some unknown reason, Wenru got a very uncomfortable and shady feeling from this. Subconsciously, his legs took a step backward without him noticing. Big Bai, listen to my explanation first. I really did do my best to lead your people, just that alchemy is too hard to learn. For geniuses like you and I, it's too rare. Most wouldn't even make it to the 4th level using their entire life. Wenru also felt very much wronged here. Towards Bai Yan's downright sickening requirement, it's too outrageous. He really did try his best. Moreover, if it's that easy to break into the 4th rank of alchemy, wouldn't that mean the world would be flooded with alchemists? Take me to have a look first then. Shrugging her shoulders, Bai Yan can't do much in this case. Okay. Wenru looked curiously at Bai Yan. Oh yes. Big Bai. Where's little Bai? I thought you and your son is inseparable. Jerking to a stop, Bai Yan makes a sulky glare at the inconsiderate boy. No one will call you mute if you don't talk. Having said this, Bai Yan stepped into the yard without paying the boy any more attention. Back then these people were all chosen by Huoluo at her command. As such, this would technically be her first time meeting them, which inadvertently roused quite the curious reception from the group. We will leave the 4th ranking alchemist for now. I want to see how those at the 3rd level work. Bai Yan softly gave her order. In her past life, Bai Yan was the successor to an ancient and prestigious family specializing in alchemy. For that reason, there were no shortages of people coming to seek tutelage from her. Without exception, none of the disciples were disappointments, especially the more talented ones that only needed a hint to grasp the important bits. However, when it came to her three shifers, Bai Yan merely went mad at their slowness. Seriously, she had never seen such stupid people before. But now, on this very day after witnessing the tragic and sinful abilities of these alchemists, Bai Yan finally realized something crucial. It's not her three shifers that's dumb, it's the level of alchemy here was lagging behind what's considered simple and easy in her previous world. I have figured out the general issue with these alchemists. In a bit, I will write down various methods for them to practice and train in. In addition, I also want you to select a small group to help me concoct a batch of 3rd and 4th grade pills for me each month. Xuanhuan became stunned by the request. Why do you need so many damn pills? Raising a smirk, Bai Yan made no effort to hide the truth. To make money, of course. Big Bai, are you short on money? A blush of red quickly filled the handsome boy's cheek. If you are short on money, I don't mind giving you mine. Returning her head around, what are you planning? This. Shyly lowering his head, Xuanhuan meekly asked. I was wondering if you were lacking a bed warmer. I can help warm your bed. Not only do I not need you to pay me, I can pay you instead. Caressing her chin, Bai Yan starts eyeing the boy before herself meaningfully. Hey Hualuo, are you still short of people at the flower brothel? Casting a sympathetic look at the foolish boy, we are always lacking in people. For a handsome man like Sir Xuanhuan, I'm sure there will be plenty of customers attracted by him. Chapter 207, Little Bully Wants to Tame a Beast 1. Twitching in the corner of his mouth, Xuanhuan practically jolted backwards like it would make a difference. I was just joking. Don't kid around. What sort of place is the flower brothel? How can this woman be so cruel and make me go take customers there? Bai Yan's smile was very gentle. Rest assured, if you have needs, the flower brothel will always be open for you. But if you just want to be a customer for one of the girls, I can have Hualuo give you a discount instead. Embarrassed by the tease, Xuanhuan finally came out of his shell when Hualuo shot him a tempting wink. Hey, Big Bai, you can't be so mean to me. At the very least I'm still an innocent and pure boy. Don't you think it's too much dumping me into such a category? Too lazy to keep up with the nonsense, Bai Yan went ahead and tossed the book she prepared ahead of time for the boy. What is this? Nearly dropping it due to how sudden the act was, Xuanhuan asks with confusion in his voice. It hasn't been very long since you grasped the secret behind the 5th level of alchemy. To help you refine your skills and help you get a firm grasp, I've written down all the key points you need to look out for. The information inside will undoubtedly raise your rate of success by many miles. Due to the intense excitement of the news, Xuanhuan nearly dropped the book again because of how shaky his hands were. When did you become so good to me? The boy's appearance now was like a baby. Red in the cheeks, he was literally hugging the book like a child getting a new toy. Showing an unbelievable smile that could captivate thousands, Bai Yan didn't hide her motive. Your strength isn't enough right now. Only by increasing your alchemy and raising these people can you help me in what I want. Come Hualuo, we're leaving. No more than a few steps out, she suddenly turns around again. Xuanhuan, if you want to come find me then go look for Lan Xiaoyun, girl cousin of the Lan house inside the capital city. She knows where I live. With that said, the two enchanting figures were gone and out the door. The entire time, Hualuo was always showing her charming smile because she knew her mistress had a stubborn mouth but a soft heart. Don't assume Bai Yan was bad just because she likes to bully Xuanhuan, but in actual fact, the girl had prepared the book long before her visit today for the boy. That's her form of caring for others. Though not always easy to spot, but it's there. With the precious book in his hand, Xuanhuan too didn't have the heart to keep flirting with Bai Yan. Alone with his treasure, he returns to his room for a thorough reading and became very surprised to find all of his previous questions answered easily with the information he's been given. Ellipsis. At this very same moment over at the Crown Prince's estate, an ear-deafening shriek for help was shaking the whole place apart. What happened? Because of her injury, Bairuo could only limp her way out of the room to check. In one look, she was horrified to find her son being chased around by a wild wolf. In this world, aside from demon beasts, there are also common animals like bears, wolves, and other predatory animals. Take this wolf for examples. It's nothing more than a regular wolf that was captured recently by Nangongyi Crown Prince on one of his hunting trips. Due to the ferocious nature of this one, the prince had specifically locked it up in a cage to slowly tame it, yet who would have guessed the fat bully would go unlock the animal from its cage? Mother, save me. There were no illusions about the level of duress in that plea for help. Quick, go save my son. Bairuo could literally feel her heart jumping out of her body due to the intense pounding it was making. Following the order, one of the guards promptly took out his bow and nocked an arrow for the hungry wolf. Because of the sharp aim from this soldier, the arrow landed precisely at the wolf's eye, blinding it in the process and saving the child from being gobbled up in the nick of time. Not going to miss this chance, Nangonglin Bully swiftly ran behind his mother's leg for comfort and protection. Son, why did you release your father's wolf from its cage? As soon as the scene from just now came up again, Bairuo's complexion instantly took on an ashen white. Chapter 208, Little Bully Wants to Tame a Beast Too. Mother, they say the one who is worshipped by the animals must have the ability to tame the creatures. I want to tame this wolf to prove I am the most powerful person in the world. Hearing the aggrieved tone in her son, Bairuo's voice promptly turned sharp. Who is it that told you these things? It's Bai Xiakan's little friend's parent. However, before the fat kid could finish the ending part of his sentence, the woman had already assumed it's that rascal Bai Xiakan's fault. Huffing with clear anger in her rapid breathing, it took a rather long time before Bairuo could return her gentle gaze back down to the child in her arms. Son, you must always remember that you are the most prestigious person in the world. That Bai Xiakan is only jealous of your status, that's why he's trying to manipulate you and confuse you. Despite the comforting words, the fat bully only looked up with his teary eyes. Then why did that wolf not listen to me? That's an ordinary wolf without any form of intellect. How can it possibly recognize you? Moreover, such a lowly existence isn't qualified to surrender to you. Remember, you are destined to control the world's demon beast. Only real demon beasts can understand how great your identity is. But Bai Xiakan can order a lot of foxes at will. Nothing but. Bairuo instantly cuts the boy off, her expression serious. Son, whether it be Nangongjun or Bai Xiakan, all of them must live under the control of your will in the future. If you find the opportunity, you must end them in the most miserable way, understand? Who the hell is Bai Xiakan? How dare he compare himself to my son? He's not even qualified to wash my son's feet. I understand, mother. From the depressed and sulky attitude, the fat bully was now invigorated with a renewed enthusiasm. I will never let that Bai Xiakan and Nangongjun get away with what they've done to me. Also, mother, I saw a little girl today. Can I make her my bed-warming maid? How dare that chubby kid beat me? Then I will snatch his sister over to warm my bed. That's fine. Bairuo laughed. This world will eventually be yours, so that girls should be thankful for your generosity. Tell me which household it is, I will have someone go over there and buy the girl for you. Going bright in his weasel eye, the fat bully was brimming with energy. Mother, it's not just the little girl, I also want her brother to become my slave. Okay, everything will be as you wish. In this city, there's only Daikang who I wouldn't dare trifle with. Aside from that, who else would dare go against royal authority? Besides, isn't it just a little girl? If things don't go through, all I have to do is bring out a few Dan pills. By then I like to see the other party still refuse the request. It was at this moment a palace maid came running over. Crown Princess, someone is requesting an audience. Slightly wrinkling her brow, Bairuo asked, who is it? The person said they are from the Music Valley. Music Valley. Evoking a sinister smirk, finally, they are here. Quick, invite them into the reception hall. I will arrive in a moment. Yes, Crown Princess. Making a respectful bow, the maid quickly disappears from Bai Ruo's view. First making sure her son was well taken care of by the maids, Bai Ruo then headed for the main hall herself. But due to the injury on her hind, the speed that she moved at was awfully slow despite being supported by several servants. Ellipsis. Back over at the reception hall, a female character donning a gorgeous blue dress was already sitting in wait by the time Bai Ruo arrived at the scene. Aside from those mountainous things in the front, everything about this person radiated a stunning presence. This was especially true with that face because that milky complexion looked like it could literally be milked if squeezed. Chapter 209, New King Xuanhuan. What a truly astounding piece of work. There's no doubt in Bai Ruo's mind that Daikang would definitely be moved by this lovely woman here. No man could, not even her own husband who has a decent number of concubines in wait. Miss, am I safe to assume you are the mistress of the Music Valley? Perhaps it's due to her injury, but that smile she was making was rather awkward, like it's being forced. I heard you have information about his whereabouts. Not to be rude, New King Song stops her act of sipping the tea and returned a smile of her own. Making a nod as confirmation, a gleam of cruelty quickly flashes by her eye. He is called Daikang, a titled royalty of our kingdom. May I know why you are seeking him? Still making her faint smile, New King Song doesn't seem to mind the question at all. I had a short encounter with him several months ago. Such a man, how can anyone forget after seeing him once? At the time she was in the middle of pursuing a demon beast with the other elders of the Music Valley. Just when they were ready to rake in the prize, that's when the godly figure descended from the sky. Donning a purple robe with his silvery hair fluttering with the wind, it was impossible from that moment on for Mo King Song to forget Daikang again because his image was firmly printed into her heart. Miss Bai Ruo, I will surely reward you greatly for informing me of his location. When we have our wedding, I hope you can come join us and have a good time. Startled by how open about her intent was, Bai Ruo wanted to say something to only come out with nothing despite her repeated attempt. New King Song naturally wouldn't miss the struggle of the woman. Furrowing her brow, is there a problem? Your ladyship, making a long sigh, you were too late. Not long ago my sister Bai Yan, who had gone missing for many years, just returned. Frowning, the confused woman didn't quite understand the meaning behind that statement. And what does your sister have to do with him? Of course it's related, her eyes looking like it's in deep pain. My sister had always been restless since she was young and would always cause trouble in the Bai house. Because my current husband wouldn't have her, she had degraded into seducing other men in the wild till she became pregnant before marriage. Dropping her jaws in surprise, New King Song clearly carried a light of disgust in her eyes. Are you implying the child is Daikang's? Of course not. Bai Ruo sounds like her words are the absolute truth. I personally saw her in bed with another man, so her child can't be his. Just that after she came back, she's been throwing herself at Lord Kang repeatedly, refusing to let go no matter what. Casting a careful look at the enchanting woman, Bai Ruo figured it's time to make her move now. I don't know what method she used to fool Lord Kang into thinking that wild child is his son, but that's the case. Going dark in her face, New King Song's voice was still somewhat skeptical. Even if what you say is the truth, it must be under the assumption that they got into bed at one point. It can't be, they. Your ladyship, I can guarantee you that child isn't Lord Kang's. Lowering her eyes, a smear of ruthlessness gripped that face. Years ago Lord Kang was drugged by his enemies. In order to absolve that poison, he got into bed with a random girl he found nearby. That person isn't my sister Bai Yan, it's my younger sister Bai Ji. Chapter 210, New King Song 2. At the time Bai Ji also told our sister Bai Yan this matter, but who could have guessed she would impersonate our younger sister? And to make matters worse, she bewitched Lord Kang into crippling our father. By the time Bai Ruo raised her head, those eyes were already streaming with tears to show how pitiful her image was. Originally New King Song was a tad displeased to learn of her man being possessed by another woman, but since it's out of reluctance and trickery, her foul mood immediately dissipated. So long as that man is mine from here on forward, then it's fine. I can ignore his past and move for the future. I understand the story now. Tell me, where does that woman live? I will seek her out immediately. New King Song's expression was very ugly as she stood up. Okay, I will have my people lead your ladyship over. Bai Ruo thought she was smart here, deliberately omitting the part about the flower brothel, but it's just her own one-sided feeling. No, you only need to tell me her location and that is enough. Smearing, the woman had no doubt about her own ability to win the man of her heart. Going silent for a good second, Bai Ruo appears to have come up with another idea with those eyes she's showing. I don't know where Bai Yan currently lives. However, if you go to the land house inside the city, you will definitely be able to force her to appear. In reality, since the day Bai Zhengxiang discovered Bai Yan's relationship with the flower brothel, she had already learned of the old man's existence. But simply having this wonderful chess piece complete one simple task wouldn't be very satisfying, would it? It's unsure what New King Song thought of that statement, but she didn't utter another word and immediately took her leave. But as soon as she stepped out of the main doorway, a woman in green promptly learns from behind the woman. Mistress, I believe that Bai Ruo may not necessarily be telling the truth. Should I go investigate beforehand? Raising a smirk, New King Song will have none of it. Whether or not she's telling the truth, what does it matter? The fact still remains that the woman is seducing my man with her foxy ways. For that, no form of mercy shall be given. Nothing but a cheap wrench. In my music valley there's plenty to go around. Let's go. We're heading to that land house. I will first deal with that cheap bitch. Yes, mistress. Ellipsis. Meanwhile, over at the land house, the occupants of the estate was busy smothering Bai Xiakan with hugs and kisses after the boy made an unexpected visit. This was especially true for old Madame Lan, who was practically strangling the poor boy. Oh my good grandson, I missed you to death after you didn't visit for so many days. In the end, it was old Lord Lan who came to save the day after not being able to watch on anymore. Coughing twice, he accusingly eyed his wife. Do you want to suffocate your own great-grandson at this rate? That's when the old granny discovered her own folly. Hurrying to let go, her face was all apologetic. Oh child, why didn't you say anything if you were uncomfortable? How can I do that when great-grandma you missed me so much? Bai Xiakan's appearance was very well behaved, winning even more points from all the family. Sure enough, the wonderful reply only made the old grandma even more distressed. How can those people from the Bai house sell this wonderful child? They must be blind both inside and outside to do such a thing. End of the chapter. Adorable treasured fox divine Dr. Mother Overturning the Heavens will be read in 10 chapters for every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday. Please leave this sound novel and press subscribe, follow, and the bell so you don't miss any new clips as well. See you.